So I just got off a podcast, and the host of the podcast, they were in real estate. And their podcast is all about making money. I'll definitely share with you guys the recording once they come out with it. But obviously I was on there as the cryptocurrency expert guy, and I'm basically pitching to an audience of, non-cryptocurrency investor, kind of traditional background, maybe like wealth management, real estate, things like that. So the one question they kept hitting on, and you can hear the skepticism in their voice about cryptocurrency, and it kind of flabbergasted maybe because I'm in cryptocurrency too much, and that's all I research. But the one question was, what gives cryptocurrencies, or we could just talk about Bitcoin, whatever, what gives Bitcoin value? Now, if you watch my channel, you should be able to answer that for yourself. There's a whole plethora of value mechanisms attributed to Bitcoin, but I'm sure most of you can answer that for yourself. I mean, the Ponzi scheme question is so 2016, 2017. At this point, we have so many billionaires, we have so many hedge funds, we have so many big people and big tech adopting cryptocurrency that there is no question to the value of Bitcoin. But let's flip the script a little bit. Let's figure out first, what's the value of the world reserve currency, the United States dollar, USD? What is the value of USD? And this is actually coming from a Nobel Prize winning economist. Okay, so it's not coming from my mouth. All right, let's put this big screen here and then unmute it.
Fiat money, if you like, is backed by men with guns, right? Bitcoin is not. So why should this thing have any value?
So I want you to think about that. Okay. Bitcoin does not, but fiat currency is backed by men with guns. This is actually very truthful. At one point, USD was backed by gold, but with the Bretton Woods Agreement, they took that away. Now it's just simply the fact that the United States has the biggest military. It's backed by men with guns and a government. The only thing bigger than that, in my personal opinion, is the world. The only thing bigger than government is the world. Bitcoin is a world currency, peer-to-peer technology, world currency. Now, it brings me back to the topic of discussion we talked about in my last video. A lot of people liked it, so let me elaborate. There's two types of laws in life, and this is just common sense. You don't need a book to tell you this. This is trial and error. This is life, and I'm sure everybody would agree. There's two different types of laws. There's man-made laws, the laws that they force upon us, and there's a lot of good, really, really good man-made laws, like don't kill someone. That's a really, really good man-made law, okay? Now, there's other laws that are natural laws. Natural laws being no matter what you do, you have to follow it. For example, is gravity. That's a natural law. There's nothing you could do, okay? Regardless if you put rocket boosters on your foot or something, gravity's still gonna pull you down eventually when you run out of gas, right? So one natural law that you should be aware of if you don't understand money is a natural law of organic convergence. Meaning, sometimes if it's a superior product or a superior whatever, people organically converge on it. If people want it, they want it. It's as simple as that. Fiat currency was forced upon us with men with guns. Forced upon us. Forced. Bitcoin was organically adopted because it's a superior form of currency, guys. The properties behind Bitcoin are superior. So no matter what they do short term, just like Elon Musk said, they can slow down Bitcoin, they can slow down cryptocurrencies all they want. In the long run, peer-to-peer technologies will prevail. It's as simple as that. So bringing it back to the original question, right? What brings value to cryptocurrency? You do. You bring value to cryptocurrency. The world brings value to cryptocurrency. In this video, we're going to go over some recent news. We're going to go over the bullishness of Bitcoin and pretty much how the market has recently been moving, regulations, centralization issues, adoption of cryptocurrency, on-chain metrics, macroeconomics, and of course some Cardinal news. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to be talking about an altcoin that I think all of my audience should 100% be aware of. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency market. We're going to be doing some sentiment analysis. I'm going to be going over some news that I think is important, some on-chain metrics, macroeconomics, Cardinal news, adoption of cryptocurrency, the centralization issues. You guys know I provide the highest quality research on planet Earth. If you appreciate this content, do us both favors, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with a friend. I talk about cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship. I might rant because I'm passionate about what I do. I do not accept sponsorships by anyone, and I do not get paid by any coin to talk about their coin, which gives me unbiased research. And of course, all of this information is mine and mine only. I do not take other people's research. I don't get scripts. I create this myself. So again, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with a friend. Let's try to grow this channel as big as we possibly can. If we come over here, let's look at some stablecoin regulation. This is actually really, really big. So I had to make my audience aware of what's going on. Circle, which is a company that created the USDC, continues to face investigation from SEC's Division of Enforcement. So basically, they filed a subpoena against Circle. So you can see right here, the Security and Exchange Commission continues to investigate the stablecoin-focused cryptocurrency Circle, according to regulatory filing from October 4th. That's pretty big. We see it with Celsius. We see it with BlockFi. Now they're taking stabs at one of the biggest stablecoins on the market. That's pretty scary. Also, it's obvious that they're attacking Coinbase at the same time, because we know that Coinbase is not exactly partnered, but their actual platform favors USDC. Coinbase was going to offer a lend product. They discontinued that, which was going to feature USDC. So it's clear, what the SEC is trying to do. Okay. Now, obviously, there's a big push towards stablecoins. So if you guys are just getting involved with the channel, it's a very simple thesis with stablecoins, in my personal opinion. Although stablecoins are stable to the United States dollar and they back up the credibility of the world reserve currency, and we all are in this for Bitcoin and we're all in this for gains, right? And there's still hyperinflation involved with a stablecoin. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to get a lot of investors that are scared of volatility jumping into stablecoins and then eventually eating the learning curve. And they're going to realize that Bitcoin is just a superior form of money eventually, once they understand the properties of a cryptocurrency and they understand what's going on in decentralized finance and all of these great innovations. So for me, I think that stablecoin adoption in general is kind of like a Trojan horse, kind of stomping its way into traditional finance, in my personal opinion. And we see a big push of regulation and stablecoins happening. Hong Kong, taking actions to understanding and studying, stable coins and central bank digital currencies. We see it in the United States. We see it right here. As you can see, MasterCard says they will work with CBDCs, stable coins, and cryptocurrencies. We're seeing a massive push in the United States, China, and all these different places. They're trying to ban the other cryptos, the other 50,000 or Ethereum. They're trying to ban Bitcoin because of the obvious properties as a hedge against monetary inflation. And then they're trying to kind of push in their own cryptocurrency. It's pretty much happening right now. But again, like I've said it time and time again, centralization has its negative effects, and we'll go over a couple of reasons why, regardless of what they push. If the coin's centralized, people are going to know, especially in the cryptocurrency community, and eventually the ones that prevail are the decentralized cryptocurrencies. We see this very clearly with layer ones. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Currently, Cardano, it has a working product technically, but there's no apps, and it's still number 3, by market capitalization. And then number 2 is by market capitalization is Ethereum, which is the most decentralized layer 1. Even though you have to pay $130 per transaction fee, it is still number 2. People in cryptocurrency, they want decentralization at the heart. Maybe in the short term, we'll see things like Solana or AVAX that are a little bit more centralized do well. But I do expect over the long run, like I've seen time and time again, the centralized entities continue to fall from the top market cap coins. And this is why we see Cardano up there. It doesn't really have a reason. Like AVAX and Solana have way more working apps right now. Right now, way more infrastructure. They should be top 3, right? But they're not, because they're centralized and people can smell the fish, right? Most people can. And as, again, the only hurdle of cryptocurrency is really just learning it. And this is why I set out in this journey. to educate the masses on how cryptocurrency works. So as people get smarter and understand Web 3.0 more and more and get on our level, I know this is a kind of advanced YouTube. It's not like for the general masses, and some of the things I talk about, once they start getting a little bit more woke and what really works in cryptocurrency and peer-to-peer technologies, then I could see a convergence on decentralization. It's very simple. You can see, the hints. It's very, very simple. If you research cryptocurrency more and more, it's kind of like, it's so simple that it has to be true, right? If we come over here, regulations, we're seeing big CEOs say that there's lack of regulatory certainty around cryptocurrency. We just aren't involved today because of that exact reason. What you guys have to understand is that this is actually a big thing. So hopefully we can see, at least some stable coins being adopted and then some regulatory certainty around crypto. I think that's the biggest reason we don't have more institutional demand, is just people don't know if it's lawful or not. They don't. I mean, when you see Coinbase getting attacked like this, when you see Celsius, these big centralized platforms being attacked, I get why they don't want to jump in. So hopefully we can get some clarity here. Hopefully we can get some clarity in the United States specifically, to be honest. Centralization. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Facebook and Instagram had a massive outage. And the reason for it, this disruption to network traffic had a cascading effect on the way our data centers communicate. I want you guys to remember that. Data centers communicate, bringing our servers to a halt, the company's engineering team wrote in a blog post Monday night. So it seems like their data centers are having issues. This is a problem with centralized entities in general. And it's funny, we say that because we see a tweet here, of documenting Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now worth more than Facebook, 930 million. And then somebody else, Jameson Alop, basically said it has better uptime as well, because Bitcoin never goes down because of the decentralized nature that we explained in the beginning. Facebook owns their own servers. They have these big data centers and colder areas of the world. And sometimes they can get attacked. Sometimes they can get overloaded. And decentralized networks typically have better uptime, if not indefinite uptime. If we come over here to some adoption pieces of news, Bank of America debuts crypto research, growing institutional interest. Like I told you guys 1,000 different times, it's a get with it or get left behind scenario. It's as simple as that. We're going to see the news outlets adopt it. We're seeing the merchant services have to adopt it. We're going to start seeing banks adopt it. Again, get with it or get left behind scenario. It's as simple as that. And other adoption news, you can see that Ethereum is settling 6.2 trillion in transactions in the last 12 months. Those are some huge numbers as a payment network, 6.2 trillion in transactions in the last 12 months. That's massive for Ethereum, the world computer, or it's supposed to be the world computer. In other news, we see headlines saying crypto transactions surge 706% in Asia as institutional adoption grows. That's big. Again, I've said this in the last video. We're going to see adoption of smaller countries, more poor populations are going to start to adopt cryptocurrency first, and then it's going to be a get with it or get left behind scenario for larger companies. If we look at on-chain metrics and we look at the Bitcoin e-liquid supply, RSI, this wave of Bitcoin supply shock has the most momentum of any in recent history. You can see in these green zones, we have the top of the RSI, the e-liquid supply RSI. Once it gets down to this range, up to this range, we can see Bitcoin's price pretty much pump immediately after. And we reached this exact all-time high. We had it right here. We had a supply shock here. And this is basically attributed to the scarcity factor of Bitcoin, being that it does have a finite supply and being that, the issuance does lower over time. You can see, again, every time we have this supply shock similar in these ranges, and we had one recently, the price of Bitcoin pumps and does large percentages. We all know that this cycle has been completely different. You could look at other cycles, but like I said, it's just been a lot of manipulation, but at the same time, a lot of institutional demand and whales still continuing to buy. And this is pretty much the theme of the Bitcoin market in recent history. So regardless of what technical analysis says, right now I am bullish, and I've been saying this for like a month plus, right? There was a time when I was bearish, when I was telling you guys, like right around here, I was bearish, I was scared, right? But now I've been saying bullish, bullish, bullish. I did buy the heck out of this dip with some of the liquidity I had sitting on the sidelines, which all of you should definitely practice good risk management and not have all your eggs in one basket ever. Please, if there's one thing I want to tell you guys, please do not have your whole net worth in cryptocurrency. It's the stupidest thing you could do, right? It's going to be very emotional if you do it that way, but you can clearly see The whales are buying it up and the supply is decreasing, causing supply shocks similar to what we've seen before in every major pump. So, I mean, you can clearly see it in multiple indicators. Again, here's another indicator for supply shock ratios. You can see the green when it gets this kind of golden zone right here. There's the green, why did I say golden zone? This green zone right here, you can see that price pumps. It happened here, supply shock. This is kind of the black swan event. Price pumps. Happened here, price pumps. Happening again in front of our eyes. There is a huge supply shock of Bitcoin being held right now. There's not enough Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. Total supply held by long-term holders is at an all-time high as well. It's never been this high ever. We can clearly see that the whales and long-term hodlers accumulated the dip, and they're holding for a very long time. If we look at macroeconomics, you can see the home price to income ratio is astronomical. The amount it costs to live there in proportion to how much money they're making has never been a worse scenario for the human population. We're seeing it all over. We actually see it in the housing market in the United States as well. You can clearly see, as this chart shows, housing prices relative to the income per household are hitting generational highs. Guys, this is signs of inflation. This is signs of them propping up the market artificially, right? Cost more to live in. And I see this in South Florida as well. The rent is getting absolutely ridiculous. People cannot afford living anymore. Don't quote me on this, but I saw an article by Walmart having to raise, for example, their average salary because the workers were leaving because they just weren't making enough. Imagine having to live in a world where you work and you literally cannot, even though you work a normal job, you can't make enough to live. This is exactly what's happening right now. This is what inflation does. Now, I don't want to speculate, but you can see Taiwanese foreign minister warns his country is preparing for war with China, asks Australia for help. The world's shaky, obviously, the macroeconomic environment. Obviously, we see issues all over. So stay on your toes. Make sure you have your own protection if you're in the United States and you know it's legal for you. I definitely have your own guns. I have my own guns. Definitely have a food supply and a way of living, at least for a couple of weeks, sustainable. Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but this is just good practice in general, right? And just understand what's going on in the macro environment, and you know the issues that are arising now has arose before, and we've seen negative consequences happen all over the world. So just pay attention. In Cardano news, we see that OccamX, Cardano Decentralized Exchange, is demoing, and they, you know, as you can see in this video, have solved the concurrency issue that a lot of people were fudding about when, you know, Cardano dropped smart contract capability. So let's just briefly watch this and see how they solved it. Now, again, Cardano, and I will make some more Cardano update videos, we don't really have like an ecosystem just yet, but we can see it forming in front of our eyes. So let's just kind of play this right here.
Howdy Occam hodlers and Cardano community members. Today we have the pleasure of demonstrating a quick video of OccamX in action. OccamX is the DEX solution developed by OccamFi and is arguably one of the most important DApps we have next to our Occam Razor Launchpad. What you're witnessing now on the screen is two independent trades happening within the same transaction. This is our working solution to the so-called concurrency problem. After an initial discussion from members and projects across the Cardano ecosystem, we are happy to be able to demonstrate that we have the first proof of concept for the solution of the concurrency dilemma with two different trades happening within the same transaction. Now we will walk you through the trades that are occurring on screen and give a quick explanation of them. We start with two windows. The left window is a transaction of 9 test data to test OCC, and on the right, 10 test data to test OCC. We confirm both swaps, then wait for the transactions to be confirmed themselves. We then open Cardano Scan to demonstrate that both trades occurred within the same block, illustrating that we are the first to have a proof of this concurrency solution. You can now also verify this by rewinding the video and looking at the test wallets on the top of each window, seeing that the first test wallet on the left ending in 35 ME and the second test wallet on the right ending in CENN are now both present on screen in this single block transaction. As a final note to the Occam DEX demonstration.
Yeah, so obviously they're trying to promote their Occam decks, but when it comes to Cardano, this is obviously extremely bullish. Once we get the decentralized exchanges up, they can offer rewards. Once they can offer rewards, we get liquidity into Cardano, and this is where things change. All right, so let's go into the altcoin that I wanted to tell you guys about. Now, I want to be very clear. I have not purchased or do not own any of this coin, but I have in the past. I called it, I believe a month or two ago, it went up like 200%. I took my profit, but it looks like they're still continuing to grow. YGG is a play to earn a gaming guild, bringing players together to earn via blockchain-based economies. We are the settlers of the new worlds and the metaverse. So if you guys don't know what the metaverse is, it's basically all of these kind of NFT projects, decentralized games coming together to create this universe of metadata that obviously gives you ownership over digital items, right? So it's very interesting that this is a guild. Also, we see some whales adopting it. What are they called? A16Z, I believe, recently jumped in. As you can see right here, they dropped a 4.6 million. It's not recent. This is an August USD round. So you can see that some whales are getting in. Also from Nansen, some smart money has been jumping into YGG. For some reason, smart money really likes YGG. I've been watching it for a while. And if you guys don't know what that means, basically, this is a software to track people and how much money they make. And they have a category for smart money. If you go over here to token holdings, you could see that YGG, they're getting about 20 million. That's actually really big, to be completely honest, from me watching this for a while. So we see whales kind of aping into YGG. So it's a new concept. Even though their website, there's really not much that information, but you can see clearly their Twitter is pretty big, 83.9K followers. And they recently committed a 1 million purchase of Star Atlas game, which is one of the most, I guess you could say, well-played decentralized games in the cryptocurrency economy besides Axie Infinity. And I believe they're already started with Axie Infinity as well. So these are concepts that are coming from the game universe. You got to keep your eyes over there. I want to see them come out with something like a tangible product. The only thing they have right now, if we pop open, we connect the wallet, and I minted mine. You don't have to do it, but I did it for myself. So if I just pop it open, you can see I go to continue your adventure. I have kind of this badge here. I don't know exactly the implications of it, but I did read that there's an airdrop attributed to, getting one of these badges, as well as some other steps. I probably take that, other steps to get the free coins or whatever the case is, if I can. I haven't done my research on that just yet, but I did want to, again, make you guys aware of the gaming ecosystem. Do your own research on YGG. And I will probably accumulate it if we see a price dump, to be completely honest with you. But the whole market in general is just doing so well right now. I mean, look at the return. Like, look at Bitcoin's price above 50K, guys. Obviously this is psychological level, and it's just like the bounce back on Bitcoin is just absolutely ridiculous, to be honest, guys. Like, never seen anything like it before. This, people are calling it the end of the cycle. It doesn't really look like the end of the cycle at all. We see altcoins surging. I'm getting multiple 100% returns on some coins, guys. We are alive, healthy. The gains are there. It's still better than anything in traditional finance ever. So pay attention to cryptocurrency. Pay attention to DeFi. Pay attention to the gaming industry in cryptocurrency. Gaming coins like YGG, whales are jumping in for a reason, and see the reasons why, right? Kind of follow credibility and try to come up with your own conclusions. If you keep following people blindly, you'll lose in the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I did want to make you guys aware of this cryptocurrency for you to do your own research. Leave a comment below. If it's something that you want me to make a complete video about YGG, I'll dive a lot deeper. You guys know I get real deep. It takes a while to make those videos. So if you want me to, dedicate time to doing that, leave a comment below. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I love you. Catch you in the next video.